So, here we are, living in a world without 3-gen merchant, allegedly. The dust had settled, we've had a couple of weeks to get comfortable, so to not waste anyone's time, has Skull Merchant been fixed? And drumroll please. Yeah, it seems like it, but we really need to dig in and ask ourselves, did we address everything and how strong is Merchant now? Starting off, what was it that we wanted to address? Well, for Merchant's entire existence, there were concerns of her 3-genning potential, and basically any killer can 3-gen, as long as they do nothing but mill around in the most tightly configured generators. For any killer that has a power-related tool that assists with this, we run into the possibility of more firmer 3-gens that are harder to break. For example, Demogorgon, he can 3-gen, but their portal enables a 3-gen of greater distance. Moreover, you can leave an unopened portal next to an open portal, so that when they cleanse that portal that you were using to get there, you still have a backdoor to the gen that you want to watch, and they can do nothing to stop that in advance. Now it has a similar thing with their remote generator breaking, a 5% reduction when doing so, and while their guard does so, they're free to move around. Merchant could place her drones, and they disincentivized a survivor from progressing the generator due to the exposed that would build up. So here's the thing. I was always skeptical of the 3-gen potential of Merchant because 3-genning is mostly a gamble. You're saying to yourself, I'm going all in on this final generator setup, and you will most often be doing so by going into this late stage of the game quickly without building up hook stages or other types of pressure. You don't have to agree with my opinion on Merchant's 3-genning potential, but you ought to agree. Going into the endgame scenario with 0 hook stages is a bit of a challenge, and you should be praying that you at least have a 3-gen to back it up. Anyways, cue the chess merchant rework video, yada yada. Merchant stocks are now bottom of the market value, and she gets her rework that the masses have been screaming blue murder for finally. So did we address 3-genning merchant actually? Well, here's the thing. The main thing I found when I analysed the chess merchant videos was that the entire strategy would fall apart if drones, hypothetically, weren't invincible for 10 seconds after placement. I have no idea why this was a thing. When you placed a drone, the zone was active, right? So if I placed it, and a survivor wanted to immediately announce that they were at the drone that I was 5 meters away from, they deserve to start hacking it, because it's the most reckless move possible. Sure, let them start hacking it 1 second after I placed it. I guarantee they won't finish hacking it, because they'll be dying on the ground. So my whole rework, if you had to ask me, was remove the unhackable states. And you can see this in the rework. The devs understood this idea very well. Drones don't have a hacking-proof timer anymore. So is there anything else to address? Yeah, Merchant was always just kind of weak. She had no proper devastating anti-loop besides the small buffs that might occur. So for me, playing old Merchant was leveraging whatever haste you could muster along with the strong information that you could gather and combining those two into a greater sum than their separate parts. And with the information from your power, you had more room for gen regression in your perk loadout. You didn't necessarily need to have some information perks in there as well. But I suppose we had to address the 3-geners. Okay, fine. And so you can place the drones next to the generators still, but you can't build up any lock-on if the survivor is stationary or crouching. And since working a generator counts as being stationary, you can just sit there and let the scanner sweep over you for no value, so that's okay for survivors. Moreover, survivors are no longer hit with a claw trap for hacking a drone. And the drones don't have an unhackable timer in the first place, so there is no longer a catch-22 scenario for hacking drones. You ought to just hack any drone you find in your way if you're not in a chase scenario. Just get it out of the way. But Merchant's overall weakness was also addressed. Her stealth capabilities are now through the roof, and scanning a claw trap survivor now slows them base kit, so she has an anti-loop aspect, making her chase much more smooth than before. So we've removed the worst 3-gen enabling aspects of Merchant, and we've given her some new buffs to allow for a little more creativity and freedom. But to answer the next question on everyone's lips, how strong is Skull Merchant now? And I have to tell you, I have no fucking clue because of two things. Firstly, I haven't played a huge amount of Dead by Daylight lately, and more importantly, the amount that I have played, I am currently on a huge Merchant win streak, and every game I've played since the rework went live has been a 4K. I am not a high-class player, I've only got plenty of old Merchant experience to help me out, and I legitimately haven't had a survivor escape yet. I played Merchant each day on the first 3 days of release, and I played her a couple of weeks later. I'm unstoppable. And this isn't me bragging, and what I'm saying is, that can't be right. I assure you, I'm not going out of any way to play particularly viciously, or campy, or tunnely, or cheesy. I'm just getting drones on the board, and chasing whatever survivors I find. I'm using Pop Goes the Weasel. There's nothing really crazy going on here. So let me know in the comments if this is something you've experienced, because every survivor team keeps getting claw trapped when I'm not chasing them, meaning that they have no clue how to approach drones for disabling purposes, or they get tagged by the scanners because they aren't even seeing them as they run around doing their survivor things. Mid-game, even though I'll be chasing one survivor in the time, I will be drowning in injuries from drones. Everything will be claw trapped and broken. So if you play Merchant, comment below if you see survivors getting claw traps unprovoked. And if you're a survivor, please comment if you're actually having a hard time seeing the drones beforehand, or getting close enough to hack them without tripping the lasers. I'd love to know your thoughts on that particular area, because I don't quite know what the deal is. Until survivors get more proficient facing new Merchant, I can't really say how strong she is, or provide any further guidance for merchants or survivors. But until I get that further experience that I would need to make a future merchant guide, I'll leave you with this. You know how you touch a laser when you're not in the middle of a chase? Don't do that.